You might not want to hear this, but you're not feeling overwhelmed because of your situation. You're feeling overwhelmed because of how you've learned to deal with difficulties. And I know you want it to be the situation, because that would mean once you get out of it, you could be happy again. And while that might be true, that type of happiness has an expiration date, and it runs out the minute you face your next difficulty. But here's the good part. If the problem is you, the solution also is you. Those are very, very powerful words, and I want you to keep them in mind throughout this video, and if possible, take them with you wherever you go. Overthinking and feeling overwhelmed is almost like second nature to me. It's what I learned growing up. Until my late teens, I really believed that people who don't stress and never feel anxious or overwhelmed simply just don't experience the things that I do. They don't have it as hard as I do. And it wasn't until my adult years, when I had met plenty of people, that I realized that everyone experiences the same things and everyone shares, the same feelings. It's just that we cope with them differently. Now, at 26, I'm at a place where I have found some things, some tips, some tricks that help me minimize my anxieties, my fears, and my overwhelming feelings. So in case you're feeling overwhelmed, these tips are for you. I think when we want to reach everything and we want to do everything right and we want it to be perfect, we tend to forget that we are alive human beings. And the reason for that is, for you to function just 24/7 and do every single task, you have to be a robot. And I'm really speaking from personal experience, because I have caught myself several times thinking, I wish I could not sleep. I wish I could just do this and this and this. And don't get me wrong, a lot of times it comes from a very positive place of me just wanting to enjoy life to the fullest. But sometimes it comes from a place of, oh my gosh, I need to do so much. And I forget that I'm a human, but I also forget that I'm a woman. And we as women, and I'm speaking to women directly because I know that the majority of my viewers are women, we have a cycle. Every single week, our moods change, our outlook on life change, all the hormones, everything we go through, our minds function a little bit differently from week to week. And that's not to say that we can't function or do everyday tasks. We can. But that's just something we have to keep in mind and remember that that is beautiful. That is what makes us women. We are alive. And so if you're feeling overwhelmed, there might be a chance that you've forgotten that it's completely okay to not feel the same every single day, and it's completely okay to sometimes not be, at your 100%. It is called being alive, and it is completely okay. Last month, January, was kind of a difficult one for me. I experienced a lot of health issues, and I was really just spending so much time thinking how I could heal and what's wrong, and without even realizing, my mind was kind of overwhelmed with thoughts, negative thoughts and feelings. And I was so immersed in all the situations I was in all my sort of daily patterns, that I've realized how important it is to not lose yourself to what you're going through. And that's when I realized that we need to separate ourselves from what we're going through. I think the way I came to this realization was, no matter what happens in my life, no matter what difficulty I go through, at my core, I am still Ylva. I still have my passions, my beliefs, my sense of humor, my core, who I am. None of the situations I go through change that. Even if I go through situations and habits that don't resonate or don't mirror me, I am still that person. And that gave me so much freedom and so much happiness, because I realized that no matter what I go through, I can't lose myself, because I am not attached to things. And this is why I want to recommend this to you. It doesn't matter what happens in my life. I can never lose who I am inside. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, if this is a difficult time for you as well as it was for me in January, you know in your core who you are, what you love, what you believe in, and that's the real you. All of the other stuff will pass. Happy stuff passes, bad and sad stuff passes too, but who you are at your core, that stays with you. I know that we often think that I will not be able to relax until I resolve this problem or get out of the situation, but you need to step away to think clearly. And this is something that I have implemented in my life. If it feels like it's too much, it is too much. I step away from it, even for like an hour. I watch a TV show, I read something, I go for a walk, or I meet with my friends, and 100% of the time, like always, completely always, when I get back to it, I come to the problem with a fresh perspective, with a fresh mind. There is something very powerful about taking a break. And that goes to physical stuff, you know, taking a breather after a run or a workout, to mental stuff, to emotional stuff. You will always come up with new ideas once you give yourself some rest. Because your inside world also is filled with muscles. When you overwork a muscle, this is how I show how I overwork a muscle, apparently. When you overwork a muscle, it's exhausted. It can't work at its peak performance. You have to give it a little rest. And the same goes with your inside world. So detach yourself from that specific situation, take a breather, and come back later. And speaking about breaths, the next one is breathe. Everything starts with a breath and everything ends with a breath. That is actually very true. I just thought of it, but that is very true. Breathing is a form of life, right? If you breathe, you are alive. And so many of us have forgotten how crucial it is to take deep breaths and how much you can ease your mind, ease your emotions, ease your body once you just take a couple of deep breaths. And I actually want to talk more deeply about breathing in the future, and I want to make a video on it, but I'm still learning about it, and I want to be a bit more educated on the topic before I talk about it. But that being said, please breathe. And since sometimes people listen to these tips and don't do them, let's do it now, okay? You ready? Let's do it, okay? Let me focus. Last one, okay? Let's make it a big one. Okay, how do you feel? Because I feel a little bit more relaxed. I was a bit tight, right? Because this is not entirely the most relaxing environment when you film, because I'm very like focused and script and everything. But I feel a bit more relaxed, I gotta say, and I hope you feel better. You can do this literally at any point. You do not need any equipment, any specific clothes, nothing. You could be anywhere. If you feel like everything is getting a bit tight up here, couple of deep breaths, and you will see immediate difference in your body. I noticed that in moments when I should be giving the most love to myself, I'm the hardest to myself. Because when you're going through something difficult, you will probably are not performing at your 100%, right? Which is completely normal. If you're a perfectionist or also a, high achiever, there's a big possibility you're saying very unsupportive and negative things to you. And this is what I like to call negative versus positive focus. It's easy to focus on negative things, and then all you feel is negative feelings. If you focus on positive things, all you see is positivity around yourself. Because here's the kicker. If you would actually be loving to yourself and nice and positive, you would not feel overwhelmed. Because those feelings at their core are not positive. They can only come from negativity. And when you're giving yourself love, when you're allowing yourself to breathe, to go away, to put some things aside, to just focus on your happiness, the overwhelming feelings disappear. The next time you're feeling very much off, pay attention. What is it that you say to yourself? Because you might be surprised when you actually listen and catch those things. And you also might immediately feel very bad that those are the things that you say to yourself. And if you do catch yourself, immediately change those things with positive ones. And you'll be surprised how quickly the overwhelming feeling can disappear. The words I mentioned at the start of the video, if the problem is you, the solution also is you, are powerful because once you ingrain them in your brain, once you believe them subconsciously, you are truly unbeatable. If you live in a state where you believe that every single thing that happens to you is because of you, it creates total freedom. And you take full responsibility of your own happiness. And if only you are responsible for your happiness, then nothing and no one can take it away from you. I'm wishing you all the luck in creating that relationship with yourself, and have a beautiful year, month, week, day, and I will see you next time.